72 hours ago, I posted a review of the brand new Keychron M3 mouse. And it wasn't a very positive review because my primary complaint was that the mouse didn't slide very well across the desk mat. And then shortly after I posted the review, I got a comment that said, if you want the mouse to slide better, you got to take off the blue plastic film on the bottom of the mouse. And sure enough, there was film on there, and I took the film off, and now the mouse works just fine. But it wasn't apparently clear, and I guess that's still one comment that I should point out, is that if you are buying the Keychron M3, then you should be aware that on the bottom there is film, and it won't move around very well until you take that film off. So be sure that you do that. But I wanted to do a redo of this review. I'll post some unboxing footage here. Obviously in the box you're gonna get the mouse, which has a pretty decent design. It should fit into any setup just fine. It's not the fanciest, and I kinda like that. So it's a good looking mouse. You also get this 6 foot or 2 meter paracord USB-C to USB-C cable, which is really nice. It doesn't look super pretty. It's not coiled and stuff like that, but it is super flexible and it's really, really durable. So that's really nice as well. You also get a couple of USB dongles, not dongles, but 2.4 gigahertz receivers. So you get one that's USB-C and you get one that's USB-A as well. So however you're connecting to your computer, you're gonna be able to have a connection that works. Or you could plug one into one computer, one into another computer, and then you'd just be connected to both computers at the same time. And that would work out as well. You also get a USB-C to USB-A adapter, which is really nice that you can, plug onto the end of your cable for your mouse. So whether you're using the cable to be a wired mouse into a USB-C connection or USB-A connection, you should be covered there. Now, I should point out that I tried connecting my mouse via, wire to my computer, and although it charges, I wasn't able to get it to, use it as a wired mouse. So that was kind of a bummer. And then they send you this USB-C to USB-A adapter, but you have to plug 2 cables into it. And I'm not 100% sure what that is. I suppose if you wanted an extension for your 2.4 gigahertz receiver, or you really had a massive desk and needed to extend your cable, then you could plug a USB-A cable into one side and a USB-C cable into another. And anyway, it's not apparently clear to me why they included this, but it's kind of nice. So if you have an idea as to what that's for, then go ahead and post that in the comments below. Anyway, the mouse is the lightest mouse I've ever used. It's 79 grams, which is on the lighter side. I know there are lighter mice out there, but this one is a pretty light mouse. So that is pretty good. And then a couple other features. It has an RGB setup on it, so you can cycle through RGBs by hitting the top button, and it has several different RGB options, and I believe they have this app for Windows that you can download and you can program the buttons on the mouse inside Windows, and I believe you can also program the RGB in there as well. However, my primary setup is Mac, and they don't have the app for Mac yet. I think they're working on it, but they don't have it yet. So if you're a Mac user, that's something to be aware of. You can't program the buttons on this yet for Mac, but you can program them for Windows. On the bottom of the mouse, they have a DPI setting. You can switch between Bluetooth off and then the 2.4 gigahertz receiver. And then you can also change the report rate, which I'm not 100% sure what that is. So if you know what the report rate is, comment down below to let me know, because it's not apparently clear what that means to me. So anyway, the overall build quality, it's plastic, obviously, and I think it feels a little bit cheap, right? So I think it feels a little bit too light, and I suppose that's one of the dangers that you have when you make a super light plastic thing, is that it's gonna feel a little bit cheap. However, the clicks are nice and snappy, right? It's not a squishy mouse at all. The ratchet is not my favorite. It's okay, right? And it's not loud. It's a very quiet ratchet, but it's not as crisp as I would like. So my daily driver for mice is the Logitech MX Anywhere 3, which is an $80 mouse, and I think the ratchet is a little bit more pronounced on that one. So I really like the ratchet on the Anywhere 3. The ratchet on this one is not as good. The ratchet is a little bit mushy feeling, so it just feels, I don't know, very rubbery. Not a huge fan of that. The buttons on the side as well, they're okay. They're a little bit they're a little bit mushy. So your primary clicks, your left click and your right click, they're good. But your clicks on, I wonder if you can hear that. Your clicks on the side, they're a little bit mushy. And then the ratchet is a little bit mushy. Button on top, it's okay. It's a little bit mushy as well, but it's fine. Okay, so most of the buttons are fine. They're okay. It's not the best feeling experience. And I feel like I should point that out just because it's a $50 mouse. And then once you add shipping in, it's a $60 mouse. And I feel like if you're buying a $60 mouse, it should feel really, really good all around. I know there are more expensive mice, right? Like the MX Master 3 and the MX Master, whatever they're at now. Those are more expensive mice for sure. And those do feel better than this, which is to be expected, but this should feel pretty nice as well. And it does, it feels nice. So it meets expectations. Other than that, there's not a whole lot else to say about it. I should point out that the DPI buttons for me, or the DPI settings, there's kind of a middle setting, and there are 5 settings total. The middle setting is a little bit too slow for my preference, at least on Mac. And then the setting just off to that is, I feel, a little bit too fast for my taste. So I wish there were a few more DPI settings, or that, it was a little bit more adjustable. And maybe it's, again, adjustable in the app, but I use Mac and it's not adjustable in Mac yet. So just to kind of recap, right? It charges via USB-C, comes with a nice USB-C cable, it comes with all sorts of different dongles and attachments and adapters. So no matter how you want to connect to your computer, you can connect to your computer, whether it's wired 2.4 gigahertz or in fact Bluetooth. I connect via Bluetooth. It's got a DPI button and then a report rate button, so you can switch between DPI settings and different report rates. I don't know what report rate means. I'm not very satisfied with the DPI button. The primary clicks are in fact very satisfying, but every other click on the mouse and every other setting is a little bit mushy. It glides very nicely once you take the film off, and then it charges via USB-C, which is wonderful. It's very light, which is great, and then it looks really good. So overall, I think it's a good mouse. And if you're looking to get into more expensive mice, nicer mice, this might be a good sort of like starter mouse for getting into nicer mice, right? Because you kind of have, in mouse world, right, you kind of have different levels, right? And at the base level, you have like the cheap $5, $10, $15 mice that you would find at Walmart or on Amazon or in combos or whatever, right? And those would be okay mice to use. I've used those and I used those for years and they were okay. And then you have the next level up, which would be this Keychron, which you're starting to see that like lighter mice do feel better. And yeah, I do like it when the mouse glides really, really well. And maybe I do want to change my DPI settings and things like that. You start to customize it a little bit. That fits right in there. And then beyond that, you have the MX Anywhere mice, where you start to have built-in features like the infinity scroll, which is super nice, it's super smooth. And then you have programmable buttons and macros and all sorts of other things that you add into it. And then you're into the $100, $200 range mice world. So this is like really great for getting into nicer mice without breaking the bank. And I think I would recommend it. Now that I know that the mouse can in fact slide just fine once you remove the film, then I think I would recommend this mouse. One last thing, and this is the only con in my opinion. I don't have big hands, and I feel like this mouse is just a little bit too big. If I were to use it every day for probably a week or two, I think I'd get used to it, but my hand has gotten very used to the smaller MX Anywhere mouse, which is designed to be small and a little bit more portable, and since I have small hands, I'm very average in every other way. Because I have small hands, I find that it's just not quite, this one's really good, and this one is just a little bit too big. So anyway, there you have it. There are my thoughts on the the Keychron M3 wireless mouse. Let me know if you have any questions in the comments below. I'll continue to use this mouse as time goes forward. If you have any questions, just let me know below and I will try to get to them. Until next time, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and we'll see you in the next one.